Welcome back to the channel, Pioneers. We are back with Satisfactory today. Let's see what crazy builds we got going on today. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Welcome to episode 7, guys. Now that we have phase 3 done, we need to start unlocking tiers 7 and 8. But to do so, we need to build a new base. I said last episode that because you guys are crushing it for me on the views, that I was going to make a new mega base. So this episode will be focusing on unlocking tier 7 and building the base that we had talked about, so we can carry through from tiers 7 and 8 and hopefully finish off phase 4 with this one base. So our new base will be up north where I know some bauxite comes from. This bauxite is the main new resource we will be using, but first we need to get some supplies up there. So let's start to make a new train depot up to this new area because it is quite far and running will be terrible, so let's go. So here we are. This is the new area we will be building in. If you are new to the game, this is the second area where you can choose to spawn from the beginning of the game. This place is a desert with lower amounts of nodes, or it should be, but nearby is some bauxite. And as you can see in the background, I've made some ramps that lead to some bauxite and coal. Right now this is just a rough layout. Then I have the bins here for all the supplies I projected to use, lots of concrete and iron plates for foundations, but let's look where we will be building right now. So here we are overlooking the desert we are next to. Just like every base, we need to start off by clearing out these pesky trees. So I have 118 Nobelisks here, so hopefully we can clear this area out a little easier. So give me a minute and see what we can do about all these trees. Okay, now I'm all tapped out of Nobelisks. Let's see how this turned out. 1, 2, 3. Well, that worked out pretty well, but it's not 100%. So let's pull our old trusty chainsaw and finish off this area. Let's get them dang trees done. Well, there we go. Nice and clean. I feel good about our exploits already, but it looks a little organic to my liking. So let's change that up a little bit. Make it feel cool and clean. But before that, I found another Mercer sphere, but it seems like there might be more secret messages in each orb. So here's what happened while cleansing this area.
The effigy has no song, only echoes, but it is part of a river. Why does the effigy avoid the windows?
Attention. Your brain's operations are outside typical parameters. Time spent daydreaming will be deducted from your sustenance budget.
This base isn't completely square, but this stretch of foundations is about 75 by 75 foundations. Let's start some unlocks so we can start building up this base. So first unlock for tier 7 is bauxite refinement. This unlocks scanning for quartz and bauxite ore. With the bauxite ore comes with some aluminum components like aluminum solution, which can also be packaged up. The solid recipes we will start to make here are aluminium scraps, aluminium ingots, aluminium alkyd sheets, aluminium casings. This unlock requires 100 computers, 100 heavy modular frame, 250 motors, and 500 rubber. Time to put on our tinfoil hats. And send.
Milestone reached. Bauxite is refined into aluminum products via a multi-step process. Considering your past achievements, you should have the minimum required skill to overcome these new production challenges. If it helps, many others have done this before, so if you fail, someone else will eventually succeed.
Now that we have the bauxite unlocked, we have a few lines leading into our base now. Here's one right in front of me. It might be hard to see, but we have 3 of these lines coming in. And way out there, I have all the other nodes coming into this base. Base will use almost everything we know of, and actually some of the stuff that comes with tier 8. So now let's start making the aluminium part of this base. And done. So here we have the early days of aluminium production for these lines. We needed to start to use bauxite, copper, coal, and water to get this line running. But now we are kind of tapped out about what we can do with these unlocks. So let's get some more unlocks done so we can grow even more. Next unlock won't help with our base, but is a cool piece of equipment, the hover pack. This milestone unlocks the hover pack itself, which allows you to hover around in areas where you have power lines, so it can help you get more of an aerial view of bases to build a little easier. It also unlock more inventory slots. This unlock requires 100 aluminium alclad sheets, 100 heavy modular frames, 100 computers, and 250 motors. Let's load this craft up. And hover off.
Milestone reached. The hover pack draws energy from nearby power connections and so can only be used in their vicinity. It provides an excellent vantage point of your work, which you clearly need. Otherwise, you would have optimized that obvious problem by now.
Now that we can hover around, let's unlock something that can move product faster with Logistics Mark V. Like all logistic unlocks, these new conveyor belts and lifts move more and faster, 780 pieces per minute to be exact, and this unlock requires 200 aluminium alclad sheets, 400 encased industrial beams, and 600 reinforced iron plates. Now we have that need for speed, time to blast off to new heights.
Milestone reached. Fixit dedicated this milestone to the conveyor belt and lift Mark V. They may be implying that your factory could be further optimized. While they are correct, I believe they are setting unreasonable expectations. Having all of humanity very definitely relying on your work is a lot of pressure. It's a good thing I'm here.
Next unlock is Hazmat Suit. This unlocks the suit itself and the filters for it. This will help us find uranium for nuclear power, which will come in Tier 8. This will be needed soon because our power consumption might be a little too much when this base is all well and done. This unlock also unlocks more inventory slots. This unlock requires 50 gas filters, 100 aluminium casings, 500 quickwire. Time to replace the filters and time for some clean airflow.
Milestone reached. The hazmat suit protects the wearer from radiation by consuming iodine-infused filters. You may find this protection essential if you are going to finally get around to saving humanity. I previously gave you compliments in an attempt to inspire you, but it might have given you the wrong idea. I will definitely be totally honest with you from this moment on. Here is a demonstration of a truthful compliment. That suit looks like it was made for you. Because it was.
The final unlock in Tier 7 is the Control Systems Development. This unlock first comes with scanning for sulfur, which comes with sulfuric acid and being able to package it. This can be also used to make the new recipe batteries. And to make these things, you need a new building, the blender, which takes in a max of 2 liquids and 2 solids to make new things like batteries. This unlock also provides 2 recipes that will be built in this base, which are supercomputers and radio control units. Finally, with this unlock, you get the next space elevator assembly piece, which is the assembly director system. This unlock requires 200 aluminium alclad sheets, 400 aluminium casings, 200 computers, and 1,000 plastic. Now time to soak in the radio waves and send our new AI generators up to the overlords.
Milestone reached. Several parts more efficient and powerful than the human brain can now be made to compensate for many deficiencies otherwise encountered in future development efforts. The blender enables you to mix and/or combine parts and fluids for more complex recipes. Most importantly, project part number 6, the assembly director system, should be produced and delivered to the space elevator as soon as possible.
Now that we have unlocked all of Tier 7, let's make our base reflect this now. So here we are to try to give you a little rundown on what's going on here. So here closest to us is our aluminium. We saw this earlier. And to the left of that, you see a new spot for our train. The reason I did that was right behind it is a bunch of storage containers. This is an auto sorting system I made that brings everything we're crafting at the old base here. This is so I don't have to run to my other bases for supplies, and now they are pretty much self-sufficient by themselves. Then continuing on, the far left we have copper production, then in the far back is the plastic and rubber production, which comes together to make fuel for some extra power and ultimately make supercomputers here in the middle of the base. And to the far right we needed quick wire for the computers. We have a little Conterium production over there. But this is just level 2 of our base. While I finish this base up to get ready for tier 8 unlocks, let's check out the MAM stuff for the time being.
Hostile organisms added to the object scanner. Note, it cannot detect the species, only aggression. There are many creatures that dislike you, Pioneer, but I am your true friend. Research completed. Purple power slugs seem to be near the end of their life cycle and have a significant amount of potential energy stored. It is a good thing Fix-It does not waste. Purple power slugs can now be processed into power shards. Object scanner magnetic sensitivity increased. It can now detect the signal of any hard drives at crash sites in your region. Radar tower unlocked. The tower reveals resource nodes and other useful information on the map in a set radius from its location.
One thing I didn't realize with the MAM, while putting things in for scanning, they actually show up in this little container, which I thought was a little cool thing that I just realized right now while doing the hard drives.
Hard drive analysis completed. Alternative recipe selection available in the MAM.
See, it's right here. So now after all those unlocks, and even ones that are coming like turbo motors and other things that will come out of tier 8, this base has 10 high-end items that will be produced once we have tier 8 unlocks done. So with the conclusion of this episode and we look to the future to what's to come, we thought we had a ton of power to use, but we still need more. So as we look over this base, I think it's time to change this planet forever by getting to nuclear power and bring our power levels over 9,000. Well, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. If there's anything I can work on, leave in a comment down below. And thanks for subscribing. Have a good day, guys. Peace.